On a quiet January morning in 1947, a woman walking with her child through a vacant lot in Los Angeles stumbled upon a truly horrifying sight. At first, she thought it was a discarded mannequin, but as she got closer, the terrible reality became clear. It was the body of a young woman, severed in two, mutilated, and deliberately posed. This discovery would ignite one of the most infamous unsolved murders in American history. The victim's name was Elizabeth Short, but the world would soon know her by a more haunting name, the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth Short was born in Massachusetts in 1924. Like so many others of her generation, she was drawn to the glamour and promise of Hollywood. She dreamed of becoming an actress, of finding opportunity and reinventing herself under the California sun. Those who knew her described her as polite, soft-spoken, and full of hope. But behind that hopeful exterior, Elizabeth's life was unstable. She was a transient, moving from city to city, often relying on the kindness of acquaintances and never quite finding a place to put down roots. By the end of 1946, she was back in Los Angeles, and by all accounts, she was struggling. She was running out of money and options, her Hollywood dream feeling more distant than ever. In the final weeks leading up to her death, Elizabeth's movements were a blur of fleeting connections. She stayed with various friends for short periods, frequented local bars and cafes, and spoke vaguely of future plans that never seemed to materialize. Her last confirmed sighting was on January 9, 1947. She was seen in the lobby of the elegant Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, reportedly making a phone call. After she walked out of that hotel, she vanished completely. For 6 days, no one knew where she was or what had happened to her. Then, on the morning of January 15th, her body was found. The scene that greeted police was beyond anything they had ever encountered. Elizabeth Short's body had been severed cleanly in half at the waist. She had been drained of every drop of blood, and her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth towards her ears, creating a grotesque, permanent grin known as a Glasgow smile. Her body was posed, almost like a piece of art, arms bent above her head. This was not a random, frenzied attack. This was the work of someone meticulous, someone who had taken their time. It was a calculated and deeply disturbing message. The details of the crime scene only deepened the mystery. The precision of the bisection led investigators to believe the killer had some form of medical or surgical training. Perhaps a doctor, a butcher, or a mortician's assistant. Adding to the puzzle was the complete lack of blood at the scene. This meant Elizabeth had been killed somewhere else entirely. Her body had then been thoroughly washed and cleaned before being transported to the vacant lot. The killer didn't try to hide her. They wanted her to be found. They wanted the world to see what they had done. It was a performance, and Elizabeth was the centerpiece. Almost immediately, the press descended on the story like vultures. It was a reporter who gave Elizabeth the nickname, the Black Dahlia. A dark twist on the popular 1946 film, The Blue Dahlia, and a supposed nod to her rumored preference for black clothing. Newspapers, desperate for sensational headlines, began to paint a distorted picture of her life. They portrayed her as a promiscuous party girl, a reckless tease who frequented bars and led on countless men. Much of this was pure fabrication, designed to sell papers. The myth of the mysterious, dangerous Black Dahlia quickly overshadowed the real person. A young, vulnerable woman named Elizabeth Short. The Los Angeles Police Department launched one of the largest manhunts in the city's history. They interviewed hundreds of potential leads, from doctors and soldiers to small-time crooks and major Hollywood figures. The investigation was chaotic from the start. The crime scene had been trampled by reporters and curious onlookers, contaminating potential evidence. Leaks from inside the police department meant crucial details were printed in the papers before they could be properly investigated. In a bizarre twist, dozens of people, mostly men, came forward to confess to the murder. Each confession was investigated and ultimately dismissed as false, the work of fame-seekers or mentally unwell individuals. Despite the massive public attention and thousands of hours of police work, no credible arrest was ever made. Over the decades, the case has become a breeding ground for theories and suspects. More than 100 individuals have been named as potential killers at one time or another. One of the most famous suspects was a prominent Los Angeles doctor named George Hodel. His own son, a retired LAPD detective, wrote a book accusing him of the crime, presenting circumstantial evidence that linked him to the murder. Other theories pointed to gangsters, jilted lovers, or even other Hollywood figures. Books have been written, documentaries have been made, and accusations have flown, but none have ever led to a definitive answer. The evidence is too old, the trail is too cold, and every lead seems to end in a frustrating dead end. The case officially remains unsolved. And lost in the middle of this horrifying spectacle and enduring mystery is the person at the center of it all. Elizabeth Short. We remember the gruesome details of her death, the sensational headlines, the Noorish nickname. But we forget the woman. She was just 22 years old when her life was stolen from her. She had a family who mourned her. She had friends who remembered her as sweet and kind. She had hopes and dreams, just like anyone else. But history has a cruel way of turning victims into legends, and in the process, it erases their humanity. The Black Dahlia is a myth. Elizabeth Short was a real person whose life ended in the most brutal way imaginable. The Black Dahlia case left a permanent scar on the American psyche. It fundamentally changed the relationship between the media and law enforcement, exposing the dangers of sensationalist journalism and its power to derail a criminal investigation. It became a chilling cautionary tale about the dark side of fame and the way a city's brightest lights can cast the deepest shadows. Most of all, it remains a haunting reminder that even in a case that captures the world's attention, justice can sometimes simply vanish without a trace. Elizabeth Short came to Hollywood looking for a future. Instead, she became a ghost, a mystery frozen in time. More than 75 years later, the fundamental questions are the same ones that haunted investigators in 1947. Who killed Elizabeth Short? And why was the truth never brought to light? Thank you for watching. If you found this story as compelling as we do, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest unsolved mysteries.